Hey everybody, Superfly Gaming here, doing a blog for the first time. I wanted to cover the Dolphin veto by Nintendo on Steam. For those of you who don't know what Dolphin is, it's a Nintendo GameCube and Wii emulator. Basically what it does is it allows you to take a legitimate copy of a game that you have for the GameCube or the Wii, burn that to your PC, and then use the emulator with a legitimate BIOS from a legitimate GameCube or Wii on your desktop PC, Windows, or Mac. And quite frankly, I think it's an awesome emulator. You know, you can upscale your games to HD, to even 4K. You can implement all these new additional features like overscan, because a lot of the games were 4:3 resolution on a 640 by 480 resolution screen. So it creates like an overscan of the area you wouldn't be able to play with. But this is quite not unexpected, because Nintendo don't like emulation at all. They hate it. I mean, Sony's kind of chill compared to this. You know, even Microsoft's kind of chill compared to this. But Nintendo have really come down hard with this one. So the whole premise of Dolphin was that they would create, the creators of Dolphin made an emulator for Steam, and I assume so you could use on the Steam Deck. That would logically make sense, because there's a lot of passion behind emulation on portable devices. But here you can see that essentially Nintendo have just issued, what do they call it, a DMCA, which is basically just shut down it completely. They can't, not only can they not list it, they have to remove it from Steam. I wanted to make this blog because I wanted to explain this kind of territorial aggression from Nintendo that is kind of unbased, in my opinion, because I get Nintendo wanting to protect their console and the games that has been released for those platforms, but one of the issues that Nintendo has is it doesn't release those games for players to enjoy. You know, some of them they might do, but there's no platform right now for Nintendo to release their old games that they're policing for people to emulate, right? So not only obviously is this a profit loss for Nintendo, if that's their main focus, well, maybe it's not their focus. Maybe they're interested in their intellectual rights. Fair enough. But then it goes to say again, why haven't you created... There's obviously a demand for something, and people are going to find a way to play these games anyway, regardless of how many DMCAs you file. I think the reason that Dolphin wanted to list their emulator on Steam was so that people could access the games they legitimately own on a platform in a way that is not skeptical, you know? Because there's a lot of stigma around emulators. You know, you hear a lot of these takedown strikes, and you hear a lot of these websites like Emu Paradise being shut down, for example. And, you know, a lot of this issue surrounds piracy. And absolutely, these companies are right to be able to look at this and say, this is our stuff, this is copyrighted stuff, we're going to protect it. That's fair enough. What isn't fair is taking power away from people who own legitimate copies of your console, legitimate copies of the games that have been released for your console, and then putting it onto a machine, which they're allowed to do. It's well within their rights, Nintendo, and then banning people from being able to get that platform. Dolphin, I believe, are trying to create a legitimate platform for people to do this, and Nintendo have just gone, no. Again, Nintendo, why? Why not create something on the Switch so people can play their old NES games or SNES games or N64 games or GameCube games, yeah? That sounds good. Then you can monetize it. If people don't have these games, sell them. Sell them on the platform again. You know, go to Dolphin and say, look, we want to do an emulator. You guys have got the best emulator. We want to put it on the Switch or whatever, or put it on Steam. Can we use you guys? And that brings another question. That brings another fact up. Why doesn't Nintendo let Dolphin do this and just did it for free test data? You know, they could literally let Dolphin run on Steam Deck, see classical GameCube games, old Nintendo games, how they run on these kind of devices, collect the data, let it happen, where people have legitimate copies, right? And then come over with the strike afterwards, if they really wanted to. So not only are they missing out on an opportunity to make money, they're missing out on an opportunity to gain data in a market share they're going to need to break into eventually anyway. Let's be honest. Handheld devices, Nintendo have nailed since day one, right? They know this. Their problem, however, is in relinquishing their control. This is a big problem that Nintendo have. They can't relinquish control easily. What they like to do is they like to think that their model is fixed, true, and good, and they'll often not break that mold. Now, they got into a lot of trouble in the 90s with the PlayStation because they thought the SNES was the next best thing. So you've got the Super Nintendo emulation system, which is a fantastic console, but then along comes Sony with the PlayStation, and suddenly you've got all these millions of pixels and polygon models, and then you've got Mario going Yahoo! In 2D still. Like, seriously? Luckily, they pulled the clutch out of the bag and released the N64, which had some of the golden classics like GoldenEye, Mario 64, you know. So they almost just got it, and they did right what Sega did wrong with the Sega Saturn. So Nintendo, I think they're just a little bit clunky in how they run things. I don't think that they understand the true potential of this kind of new kind of gaming, emulation gaming. It's really popular. A lot of people like it. Look, Nintendo has recently sent Valve and the Dolphin Emulation team a DMCA takedown notice blocking the release of the GameCube and Wii Dolphin Emulator on Steam. It had been released usage on other platforms and was due to be released on Valve's Steam service in the second quarter of 2023. Dolphin Emulator is the game. Yeah, we know this, but this is what I'm trying to say. It's Nintendo is a little bit too rigid, I think, and I'm going to conclude with that. I don't know if what I've said is fair grounds of critique. I think I'm perfectly reasonable to critique this. I think Nintendo need to take a step back and go, you know what? I think that there are legitimate people out there who genuinely have a passion for our console, for our company, for our heritage. And this is an important word that Nintendo need to remember: heritage and legacy. Because it's all right having a Nintendo Switch and it's all right having these cool games, but Nintendo isn't what it is today if it wasn't able to adjust and adapt. It used to be what was it, like a hotel or something 120 years ago or something like that? Nintendo know how to adapt. So guys, if you're watching this, Nintendo, I don't know if you are, probably not, but if you are, ease off the control a little bit. Give a bit of wiggle room, you know? Right, that was my quick blog on this one, guys. If you liked it, hit the like button, leave a comment. And please, guys, tell me what you think about this. Seriously, I'm genuinely curious about what you think about this whole policing of emulators is all about. If it has any weight, any credulity, just let me know. We'll talk about it, share it, guys. You know, it's an important topic. So yeah, remember to subscribe if you're a new viewer. Hello. And hit the bell notification so you never miss a video. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.